My name is Darlene King. Welcome to my channel, Stitch Party of One. This is my 14th video, and today is October 14th, 2018. Not much has happened this week. Well, I take that back. A lot has happened. For starters, I have 2 finishes. I did finish framing my Somebody Loves You. And I finished cutting and wiring my As I Lay Me. And it's been a long time since I cut plastic canvas, and especially this itty bitty stuff. I was sweating bullets. I started working on other finishes. As you can see, my sewing machine is taking a break. Long story, but it's for the best. Believe it or not, these are nil heel buttons that I got, and ironically they are angels, and the angels had one black eye and one red eye. I kid you not. So I got out my outdoor acrylics. You know, I want something that would stick. It took me easily a quarter of an hour to make 4 dots. As you can see, my hand isn't quite steady, and I just wanted to make them all the same. And I dabbled with the idea of, you know, maybe making them green or something, but I said no, I'll just stick with the black. But I can't tell if they're angels or ghosts at this point. So that's going to go on my dampy sod, which I might add, I've done a lot of washing this week, hand washing of finishes that I've done recently, including the dampy sod, and washed them, dried them, pressed them. So it's all ready. I just need to sew more now. I also made another needle minder. I told you I'd found my other necklaces, and one of them, the elastic had decayed, so I made a needle minder out of the main pendant. And yes, your eyes do not fool you. There's already a needle through her head. But that's a cute one. Wow. October plans were kind of diverted by cuteness. I have been working on the mashup of the Prairie Schooler charts, and this is my what's this called? Now I can't even tell. I call it Scaredy House. And I was so consumed by this that I just spent hours getting it to this point because I just wanted to see it. And ironically, I'm sorry, allergies. Ironically, I've also been sanding and urethaning the hanger for my sister's piece. And what do you do when you got something that hangs and won't stand by itself? You hang it up to dry. Let's see. Purchases. I purchased. I went to another Dollar Tree. and I got myself some new work gloves. I love the ones I had. They don't have, they grip well, but they most stuff doesn't stick to them, but they make your hands smell awful. I mean, I was like, I had a can of spray like they used for the shoes at the bowling alley, Zep spray or something, and I was spraying that in them to try to kill whatever was making that terrible odor. It didn't work. I tried putting, and these are gloves I wear, when I mow and stuff, and so I just got me some jersey gloves with some grip pads on the front. Everything will stick to them, but at least, I won't be, like holding my hands out even after washing them 3 times when I come in. I tried on Scaredy House, I tried the fluorescent effects yellow in place of the orange. I cannot tell you how much I admire someone that's willing to use this stuff. I emailed my friend Danielle and I said, it sprung apart like those snakes that come in a can, and then proceeded to defy all logic as to, going in the needle. It kept tangling. It kept coming apart. And I said, I don't know how anybody uses it. And I said, I'd give it away, but I wouldn't give this stuff to my worst enemy. And that's saying something. This is really, really crappy stuff to work with. Right up there with Krynic. Sorry. I don't like Krynic filament either. But the braid is okay. But the filament, no. So, yeah. Terrible, terrible stuff. I just kept it to show you before throwing it in the trash. I've spent the last couple days doing a final pass through of the stuff I got from my sister, and I have a little box about as big as the little box that I already had of things I was keeping. So you know what that means. It means I got to go through the things I was keeping before and clean out more so I can work this in. Of course, my sister was right about the books. Like Better Homes and Gardens books, no. For the most part, it was all Christmas, and no. I took some to Nova Metro Stitchers and said, have at it. I'm going to take some other stuff to the Sterling Stitchers this week, and I will bring whatever's left to the getaway to Stitch Fest, which I'm really excited about going to Stitch Fest. And I did really good as far as, I went through this room and I've organized and I've sorted and found a lot of stuff I was missing, and yet somehow the work kit that I had, of which this was a part, the entire box is missing. And I had put things in this little tote because I was going downstairs and sitting with my husband, and then I pop everything and bring it back up to the craft room, right? So I didn't lose anything. Well, I had this, and I had the threads, but all my needles and everything, I think it might have been gone on walkabout, but it was, whoops, There's a little box like this, only it was red. And this is the only thing that I can find out of it. So I had to have it before I started because I was using this out of it. So, yeah. So, the irony of ironies, this past few days I've been doing a lot of stuff and a lot of finishes and stuff, but I haven't been able to work on this, which I had spent a bit too much time on this anyway, so that's okay. But I really would like to find my workbox because my necessities are in it. And I have backups, but I'd have to dig them all out and put them all together. You know how it is. So I found out something while I was organizing and doing the finishing and stuff. And that was that all my glue was old. So I went to Dollar Tree on my usual Dollar Tree on my usual weekly pass, and I bought a new glue. Because seriously, this works just as good as Aleene's whatever. Aleene's always dries up on me. This stuff might separate after a few decades, but it doesn't dry up on me ever. Unless I literally leave the cap off. Now I have 2 of these hanging on the wall right now, right over there. And I've got my floss rings on them. Now originally I got it to hang hang my finishes on, so I could admire them and show them off. But I got tired of every time I did the bag method, and I like the bag method. It works for me, and I can keep all the bits together. But the way I had them stored like in one of those big collapsible cubes. First I had them in a box, and then I had them in the cube, and every time I had to pull something out, every time I put them back, I'd put them back in some sort of order, but whenever I had to look for something and pull something out, I had to couldn't remember what order I'd left them in, so I wound up pulling everything out and then putting everything back in again, pulling everything out. Now I've got them hanging. I've got them in sequential order, the 300s, the 400s, the 500s, the 600s, the 700s, and I can find whatever I need, and they're right there. I don't have to search through the box anymore. But I have an issue. I've got some Pearl 5s, and they are a little bulkier, and they take up a little more space, so I needed a couple more of these for Pearl 5s and specialty glosses. And I figured as long, because they didn't have many in there. They've had them for a long time. Then I suddenly go to, get 1 or 2 and have to hunt for them. So I got an extra one so I can hang my pretties on them again. And yes, I did put the shelf up. I've got my steric display and a little pumpkin that I made with the pin, the little just another Button Company kit. I've got those 2 in there right now. And also I purchased, these were also missing. Now these are, I got 2 of the polka dots because there had to be a reason. Okay, I used one of the polka dots to put my British magazines in. This one is for my other ones. This one's just a spare. And I've said, with all the reorganization, I pulled some books out because I realized the reason I wasn't reading books that I had, that I'd gotten because I wanted to read, was because they were in here. and I didn't have easy access because I had to move something out of the way to get to it. So I just read on my e-reader. So I moved those books out, and I put 2 boxes with my magazines in. But like I said, they had cleared this out to make way for the tri-fold boards. So I love this. I went and found the manager on duty, and I asked her about them, and I told her they were here. And she says, well, if we have any, they should be in this section. Well, yeah, I'd already looked in that section. That's why I was asking her. But I was nice about it. I just said, thank you. I managed to find 6. I only bought 3. If anybody else can dig the other 3 out where they were, more power to them. I was wanting. They had different prints than this, so I don't even remember seeing these 2 prints, the zigzag and the polka dots. I don't remember seeing it when it was where it was. So I'm kind of confused. But so I mean, it's all inexpensive, dollar piece, $5 total, plus my work clothes. But I got those for $1 also. And the gloves I originally bought were $3 to $4. I said that about the books. I'd gotten some books at the library that were for free. I love Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown. These are books written about Mary Minor Harrison in Crozet, Virginia, and her dog and her cat. And of course, the dogs and the cats have a lot of dialogue. So this was the first book, Wish You Were Here. And I had read a number of the series back years ago. So I was tickled to see it. I remember that this was the first one. But they also had this one, which is like the 16th book in the series. And it's called Tall Tale. And it's very thick. It took me 10 to 12 hours to read this. I used to read 550 words a minute, or over 550 words a minute. I think I read a lot slower now. But that sounds about right. 10, 12 hours. Anyhow, this one not only has modern day characters, but characters from 250 years ago, and how it affected the current people of today, a current family today, because it was their ancestors. And so this was a lot to absorb. Probably why it took me so long, because I was having to switch mindsets. But Tall Tale by Rita Mae Brown and Sneaky Pie Brown. And I gotta say, Sneaky Pie has to be deceased by now. She must have a new Sneaky Pie. I haven't read any of her other stories, just the mysteries. And oddly enough, Mary and her husband were divorcing, were separated in this one and were divorcing. And they had gotten back together in this one and were happily married. So there's a few books in between that I've missed, but when I was following the series, they were getting back together. But it was kind of a jump from he hadn't even asked her yet. I mean, that's the other thing about series, you know. You get confused on timelines and it's been a long time, but it was a very pleasant revisiting the original book, and the Tall Tale, which is the 16th book in the series. She's been doing these for a long time, and I highly recommend them. Is there anything I forgot? I really have to talk to St. Anthony about that kit. So, but I gotta say, I've got a lot of things straightened up and sorted out. And I joined the swap group on Facebook. Haven't been on Facebook, but maybe twice this week. Um, but I had to go through my things to pull things in order to scan them and put them up for trade. So I will get to that. I'm getting some things together for a viewer who took me up on some of my offers, some of my smalls. And I've done so much, my brain is just full. But busy week, lots of organizing, technically, partially, getting ready for Stitch Fest. So excited. I'm not sure whether I'm just going to bring one project or bring a whole bunch or. I know I'm coming across rather scatterbrained, but the irony is not lost on me. 15, 20 minutes to do 4 dots. Everything else went pretty quick, except I had some issues with finishing up Brenda's piece, and I have frogged and started to redo. Well, marked first and then started to redo and frogged again, started again, frogged again, or is this my second or third time frogging? Or is it a fourth? Yeah, there's a reason why it's not the machine's fault. What I did was I added some edging. I have decorative stitches on this machine, and I wanted to do a special edging. Well, I did it, but I had switched the settings for the next part. Well, I switched threads and settings for the next part. I didn't write down what settings I was using, so I've had to figure out where it was set, because every time I did it, it wasn't matching the other side. And the one side is giving me enough trouble. I'm not going to rip both sides out and start over. So I had to, I've got a little piece of scrap Aida, and I'm testing on that and holding it up to the left edge, and I think I finally got the settings right. Unfortunately, my will to deal with it right now, because there's still some frogging to be done again, is gone. So been doing some major work, hardly have anything to show for it except I know it's been done. And a lot of things have been trading places between this room and my bedroom, which is how it should be, because I should have my stitchy stuff in here. That's what I'm working towards. I'm looking, my craft stuff in here, or at least my stitchy stuff, and then what books I'm going to read are in there. So it's that clear as mud. And I will say, I accepted a couple of the English magazines from another member of Nova Metro, largely because I like the patterns in there. And I don't know if this is a nod to being stitchy, Michelle Garrett, she was giving away a set of don't know what to call it, leaf diagrams. You know, like it had a leaf and then what it was and blah, blah, blah. And that chart was in one of those magazines, and I was like, a leaf study. That's what I'm trying to think. So I was like, yes, leaf study, and the rest was just cute things that I liked. So I'm still really liking this little crochet pinkish. I added another little detail here. It's just an earring. I found it in a drawer. I am assuming it came home in my husband's pocket, something he found in the gutter, or something, but there was just one, so I thought make a cute jewel for that. I'm doing good on time. I don't have anything else more to share. I'm really excited about Stitch Fest, and I'm really excited to see the Sterling Stitchers in, what, 3 days? Yes, three days from now. And still working on my finishes. I had a lot of things that I'm washing up. Al Sands pieces. A lot of them needed washed. And of course my 2 pieces needed washed. And there was a piece that came with the house. Yes, sweetheart, I know. Just give me a second. Charlie's crying because I got the door shut. There was a piece left behind by the previous owner of the house that sold us the house as is. And it's a Learn to Stitch kit. It was a printed kit. Home is where the heart is, with the little hearts. Yeah. It's badly yellowed, and I bought a new dishwashing liquid. I'm hoping will take that out. So, wish me luck. I hope everyone has had a good week. I've had a pretty pleasant one. Even with the frustrations of losing things. St. Anthony, I think St. Anthony is trying to draw my attention. So I have a talk with him tonight. And I feel pretty stoked. So until next time, this is completely unedited, folks. I just want to get them up there, and I try not to take too long. I hope that everyone has a good week and lots of stitchy time. And I look forward to seeing everyone who's coming to Stitch Fest. And I hope you have a great week. Until next time, bye.